Hello and welcome to Open Minds Special in the UK. It's Wednesday afternoon. I have an amazing guest today. I'm going to read my altar cue, guys. You know how good I am at this and professional, but I'm going to give it my best shot. So before you meet my guest today, Jacquelin, I would like to read this because it is mind-blowing. I'll get through as much as I can. Jacquelin is an animal communicator and experiencer hybrid. Jacquelin is a leader of the field of telepathic communication with animals. She communicates internationally with thousands of individuals about their animal companions. Jacquelin has experienced great love and respect for all life forms since early childhood. Since 1972, she has been actively involved in studying animal life and behavior. After receiving a BA, Jacquelin worked as a licensed animal technician and dog trainer. She is gifted at acknowledging and supporting both person and their animal friend during consultations. Oh, I slipped there. Jacquelin has communicated with animals in zoological parks as well as in the wild during her travels in Africa and South America. She has sat among mountain gorillas and walked among tortoises on the Galapagos Islands. Jacquelin has communicated with cats, dogs, horses, dolphins, bats, birds, bears, chimps, rabbits, and many other species. In 1979, Jacquelin was standing at an exhibit at a zoo. She asked a zebra to come and stand in front of her. Within a minute, the zebra walked over from the far side of the exhibit and stood in front of Jacquelin. Then she heard the zebra ask, "What do you want?" Jacquelin was off running into communication with animals after this experience. Also, I'm cutting it very short, or we won't even have a conversation. Jacquelin is also an experiencer and a hybrid. Jacquelin Smith, BA, certified hypnotherapist, as well as a gifted psychic, healer, and metaphysical teacher, is an experiencer, a hybrid. Since early childhood, Jacquelin has had numerous experiences, as well as telepathic communications with star beings, light beings, angels, and interdimensional beings. Jacquelin is able to travel through her consciousness to other star systems and universes and remember what she has known. I have to stop there because there's so much more and I want to get there. It's too exciting. So, Jacquelin, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Gloria, for having me on your show today.
Right. So, we can start anywhere. As I spoke to you off camera before, the times we are in at the moment with the communications and the hybrids and the star language we will speak about. Could you start? We will touch upon your book, your most recent book as well, but could you start at the point where your communication with these beings that you're aware when it first sort of came in, when you really realized what was going on? When did that begin? Was that in 1979?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, probably around that time is when my memories
Yeah.
started coming back to me in a fuller way. I had some memories previous to that, but more fully, it's been actually a lifetime process of recalling these memories and integrating them, into myself, into my life. So
Reading the bio, and I didn't complete it, everybody, because it's extensive. Were you aware at that time that you were a hybrid? If so, how did that affect you and your reality at that time? Or did you sort of always had an inkling that you were?
well, I've always been different. and um, and my memories really, I started to retrieve memories mostly around age 30. Like, so
Mm.
it's that's when they more fully started to open up and opened up more,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, into my 40s and 50s and so on. So, but, you know, as a teenager, I, you know, always felt different. I felt alone, like I got dropped off on this planet.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And yes, yeah,
So
very.
when I mean, what I'm trying to, it may be impossible, but at what point, because we will address the book, but what point did you really have that? Was it through hypnotherapy or regression? Or what point did you realize that you were yourself a hybrid, you yourself? I mean, for others, there are many people out there that are going down a very similar path and trying to spot the signs. So the reason I'm holding on this part of the journey is to help anyone in the audience that's going through this.
Right. Well, I knew I was different in that, but I didn't realize I was a hybrid until later on.
Okay.
So, and, you know, then got that understanding. And a lot of my memories have come to me in a spontaneous way. I didn't go through regression until later, just actually one time with Dr. Leo Sprinkle, who I went to visit, and I had asked him specifically to take me through certain memories I had of being taken on a ship.
How did that make you feel? I mean, I understand the feeling, because we've spoken before, that we felt like aliens. We felt, I mean, I'm not saying I am, I'm just saying this don't fit in. Something was different, nothing resonated. And I've interviewed and spoken to hundreds of people with the same sort of like, I don't belong here. Not that we're all hybrids, but I'm just trying to identify for anyone in the audience that has this sort of, I'm not sure. How was that communicated to you? Was it via a vision? Was it via a download? Or was it in a memory that was retrieved? How did you find out?
Well, it really came through memories and also talking with others, some friends of mine who are hybrids.
Yeah.
And that helped to awaken me to, I went, yeah, that's it. And I knew that, but also my star family told me years ago where I was from originally, like in the
I'm with you. I'm with you.
and they just came in meditation and told me, they said, you are from us.
I'm with you. I'm with you. So would it, obviously it goes to follow that being a hybrid, then it goes to follow there would to be hybrid children. And that is an area I would like to touch upon, because that's part of your journey. You have had hybrid children, is that correct?
Correct, yes. I have about 40 hybrid children.
Wow.
So, and there's different ways that they can be created. So maybe I should start with how I was created and then
absolutely, absolutely.
So when my mother was pregnant with me, she was taken aboard a starship, and then I was injected, I call it, with a cocktail of 7 different kinds of DNA from different beings.
Yeah.
And so being genetically altered, my DNA is different.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what makes me a hybrid. And so I have these 7 different aspects that are all a part of me. And so it's, you know, so in the larger sense, we're all hybrids.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we're from the stars.
Yeah.
So, and everyone's a star seed. And I'm just kind of giving a definition for my experience and some others who have been genetically altered. We have, I guess I would say, a very high portion of star being frequency more than someone who's not been genetically altered.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Would that, I mean, obviously for that to occur, there would have to be a purpose for this intervention. There's a purpose for this intervention. And obviously then there's the hybrid children. However, when you was aware that you yourself was a hybrid, were you able to find out why the intervention happened? What was the outcome to be? Was it for a specific time or era, or what was the reason?
Well, from soul level, I chose to be a hybrid, but it also goes back to the lineage of families. So it's very common, on both sides of my family, there has been contact and ongoing work with star beings and with the hybridization program. So that's
I have heard, I mean, the word I use is bloodline, which is the same thing.
Exactly.
And I'm aware of a bloodline, and when I've spoken to others, some people say there's so many bloodlines. That's really not my issue at the moment, but I'm aware there are bloodlines where I know from me being a contactee, I'm aware of certain of my ancestors. The same thing goes back.
Right.
It's and I don't have the answers, so please don't contact me. I don't know what's going on at the moment. It's but I want to bring this out because it's a topic of conversation, and that's why your book is really crucial. So the links are on the page, guys, so do purchase the book. Please read the book. We are able at this time now, are we not, to talk about this? At one point we couldn't. If you can, way back in the day, I remember when the first baby by artificial insemination was created in England, and there was an uproar, and there was, but now it's all normalized and it happens all the time. But we're at the era now, would you agree that this conversation I'm having with you is really important? Because one, it's the time to have this conversation, hence your book, and two, people need to hear this because there are many others that have gone through similar experiences that I'm not aware. Does that resonate with you, Jacquelin?
Right, and I think the importance of the hybridization program is to, I feel like I'm a bridge. I can view things from the star being point of view and also the human point of view, but also it's for the intention is to help raise the frequencies of humanity. It's an evolutionary process, not only for us but for them, because there are many hybrid children who are in other star systems who are also helping to awaken others in other star systems about humans and other species as well. So it is all, in the end, it's all about the evolutionary process and expanding in consciousness, understanding that we are cosmic citizens. We are not, quote, from Earth. I mean, and so I think it is a very important topic to be discussing.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously you can get inference to like our ancient civilizations. We're all aware of similar happening and recorded history from the beginning that this has happened before, but no one really took much notice. That sort of like, it's a repeated cycle. I don't know how often, but it seems to happen. But what I've become aware of, and obviously you're the expert on this one, I've said for many years from experiences from way back, I knew the hybrids were here. And then I hear other people saying, no, they're not here yet, but they're going to be. And I used to say, they walk among us. And I always remember saying they walk among us. Does that resonate with you? Because many with the genetic, well, the compatibility, I suppose, you've got a human and we call them star beings. I don't see any difference between that scenario and that of Jesus and Mary. I don't see the difference. It's been going on. Do you also resonate with that yourself? Is one, the hybrids have always been here?
Yes.
Always?
Oh, yes, yes. I've been told that by the star beings. They were here long before humans ever existed.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they came here. And so I think that, oh, definitely. I mean, there are many hybrids who walk among us. And again, in the bigger sense, we're all hybrid.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. I mean, the label of Homo sapiens sapien just seems to be that, like a label, like Gloria. I mean, if you're coming from,
right.
My truth is of self-realization. So I'm fully aware that I'm playing the role of the identity, but I am the being inside playing the role. So I'm in total agreement with you. I've got to ask before we come towards the book is, have you met your hybrid children, and what was that experience like?
Yes. And I mean, I would visit my hybrid children on the ship. And so not all 40, but because you know, they could take a strand of my hair at one point, more than one point they did that, and then they can create other hybrid children. But I did visit my hybrid children when I was in my late teens and beyond that. And I absolutely love my hybrid children. They're very special, of course. And it was very hard for me to leave them.
Yeah.
When I would visit them on the ship, it was very hard for me. And so, but the hybrid children, they, you know, I have one couple sons, one who has the big almond black eyes and some black hair.
Yeah.
And his skin is blue. And then I have a hybrid daughter who looks almost exactly like me, and she has been integrated here on Earth.
Yeah,
I have not met her, but we are in telepathic communication.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I mean, I've obviously the question is posed there. Why are they still on the craft? When will they enter this dimension? However, I sent you a painting I did I not?
Oh, it was beautiful, beautiful.
And that was the experience I went through. And obviously mine comes out in my artwork. And that's what I saw. That's the children that I saw. And they were very human, but they still had slightly, the head was, but the eyes. But when I painted that, when I look back at it, and even now I can see this love of these beings. But so does that sort of image from the painting I did, does that resonate? Is that a similar, it's the way I could perceive it. It was just the way I could download it through what I'd experienced.
Oh, sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think that, you know, all the children look different.
Yeah.
And some, you know, they're learning more and more how to integrate them into the Earth plane, but a lot of them stay on the ships, or they go into other star systems.
Oh, I'm with you.
To do their work there, because they have different,
each
one has their own work to do.
Oh, that's really informative. So I'm just looking at the genetics. So you've got the mother who's pregnant, say with yourself, the DNA is added. So there's the first hybrid. And then as you're going through your experience, then you're like 50%, so to speak. and then they can take your DNA, whatever way or whatever they do it, to with their DNA. So you're getting a stronger hybrid more so, or are you transferring the human out into other civilizations? Do you see what I'm trying to say? Is it annihilating the human genome, or is it just taking it out into the star systems?
It's actually taking it out into the other star systems.
Lovely, yeah.
And when I was on the ship as a child, I was actually teaching them nursery rhymes and things like that, which they loved. And then that with my hybrid children, genetically, all of that was enhanced and came through my hybrid children.
Wow.
And then all of that would spread, in the way that they wanted to use it through the hybrids, so that they love that human component of play. And they love the play too, and be creative. And actually, I just communicated with a woman's hybrid son who looks very human, but he can shapeshift and look more star being or human. Yeah. He was teaching others in other star systems about humans and making sculptures of what humans look like.
Wow.
To educate them about humans, which was very exciting for me to communicate with this beautiful hybrid being.
So could we, I find this fascinating. So you're looking at that, this is a process that's been going on since the beginning, but it's the evolution, or could we say, for the audience or anyone who's trying to get their head around this, I understand it's complex. When I first got into it, I was like, it takes time. Could it be the Homo sapiens sapien? It's just the evolution of the consciousness of that being to expand and experience more experiences outside in other civilizations, dimensions, whatever you choose to call it. And the end of the murderous, disastrous, killing, raping, prejudice, bias, bigoted, we've got many names for what our history is. That what that is it that evolution? So the Homo sapiens sapien can continue, but to experience more of the source, more of the one, more, in an experiential way. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. To, at our very core, we're all divine love.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And so, yeah, I think that's really important. And I think that, again, we need to remember that, we are all from source, and source is within us,
Mm-hmm.
which can be easy to forget.
Yeah.
But the soul, is choosing to have all these experiences in different star systems.
Yeah.
In other lifetimes, we've been all kinds of beings.
Yeah.
And so it's for the evolution of the soul and of creation.
I'm with you. I'm up for the ride. Trust me. It's, I've got to this age and it's just been one blast. And I got to say, I'm sick of playing this role. I've had enough playing the role, and it's time. And I have noticed that there are many, guests that come on that are in the same mindset. They just say, this is it now. Something is about to occur now. We could say it's to do with the hybrids or the contactees or the experiences. That doesn't matter. But are you aware that something is so close that this is now what was sci-fi people thought was scientific or conspiracy is upon us? We are in that era, and this is why the likes of your books or my shows or other podcasts are coming out?
Well, I think, again, it's a process of people waking up. More and more, I think globally, more and more people are waking up. And again, it is about evolution. I think things are speeding up.
Yeah.
And humanity gets to make that choice on the collective level, what what they want to do, you know, how they evolve. And then there's all these different timelines that are those choices, you know. So the more of us who focus on light and love, being authentic, it at some point, you know, it's kind of tipping the scales, we could say, more toward really progressing in with the evolutionary process.
I'm with you. I'm on the positive. You call it positive. I'm on the timeline. It's tipped. It's gone. We've done it. We're there.
Exactly. Yeah, I do feel. Yes.
It's done. It's already done. And it's just, you know, that someone's playing a movie on the other timeline, but that's where I'm at the moment. So, right. So what we're going to do now, we've got so much to get into the show. I'm going to read the title of your book, and then I'm hoping you'll do some star language for us after. Star Being in the Mirror, My Journey as a Hybrid. Could you just give us a sort of like a condensed version? What is the narrative of the book? Where does it take the reader?
I think, you know, with this book, it is about my life journey. Starting at the age of 3, I was on starships. I was in classes learning all kinds of things, creating energy balls and creating other beings, or we could say images of animals and that on the ship. And I started speaking light language really when I was 3 years old.
Wow.
Or star languages with all the other beings on the ship. My parents are Tall White Zeta Masters, not to be confused with the Tall Whites in Nevada that Charles Hall talks about. It's a whole different lineage. And so when I was a little girl, I used to stick my finger in the light language codes on the walls of the holographic ship, because the walls aren't really walls. And they would come off and play with me. They would move through my whole body, which would raise my vibration. So these are beings. The light codes are actual beings. And I think light language, or I also call it star language. I speak all these different star languages, but it is light language. Which is sacred geometric forms, and it's the cosmic voice. So, and we can all speak light language. So I think that it is our next evolutionary step, because the light language bypasses our mind ego and speaks to our bodies, every cell in the body, our soul. It can release soul patterns. That's why I love to work with that with people. And to bring us to our authentic selves.
I'm with you.
And it's just very joyful.
It's just like, you know, I mean, I have started, you know, the past year more so than anything, with my own personal experiences. I do not speak a light language as far as I know. However, as an artist, you know, I've gone through periods where I've painted sacred geometry, the platonic solids, the vibration. It was all about, and even my artwork now, it's not actually what the human eye perceives, it's the vibration that comes off, like the hieroglyphs or the symbology. For me, that is a language. So when I'm painting, I also get, I call it, well, I don't like the word downloads, I'm aware. So I suppose, you know, we're on the same journey, but different paths, same experience, but different way we experience it. In my case, it comes through my art, my creativity. Once I'm creating, then I become aware, it expands and it expands. So in your case, it came from the language, which is when you put your hand in the light codes, which to me is the same thing. If you stay long enough at a canvas, something happens to some people and they get zapped. So would you agree with that? There's many ways that this light language can come through.
Absolutely. Light language comes through toning, through dancing, through singing. In all kinds of ways. And I use my hands with light language. So everything is light. So everything is that light, those languages of light, or however
I'm with you.
Say that. And so I think that's important. And in my book, I talk about the light language so people can understand that more deeply.
Yep.
I talk about 2 weeks of being, visiting a mothership where I had some healings happen there, and talk about my experiences with those beings, and everything that happened around my house. Like I had grass grow up through snow overnight after the craft flew over.
Wow.
I had symbols in the snow.
Yeah.
I had molecular changes on an owl statue that I had, literally. So it really goes into depth into my lifelong experiences with star beings, and a lot about the ship. I had great fun on the ship as a child. I didn't want to come back to Earth.
They blame you.
And they would make me come back. And all the things we learned in the classes, and just through my life, and all kinds of different stories.
I mean, because I'm saying for the audience, even though it's Jacqueline's experience, why I recommend you read the book is because something may resonate with you. If you're thinking, if you're watching this video, when I release it, you're supposed to be there. If you're attracted to what Jacqueline says, purchase the book. There'll be something in it. It's a synchronistic event. I always find that's how it works, and I highly recommend it. I want to touch on now light language. Now, before, because you said you would kindly speak it. Now, I don't speak it too well now. I speak Arabic, okay? Just bits of it now because I haven't used it in decades. But when I'm speaking Arabic, it's an automatic translation, but it's not thought translation. I know what I'm saying in Arabic to a degree because I haven't used it for a long time. When you speak in star language, do you automatically know what you're actually saying, or does it come afterwards?
Gosh, sometimes it comes during while I'm speaking, and other times it comes after. Mm-hmm. And sometimes nothing is meant to come through. It's just
the vibration of the
vibration of it. So it comes in, all these different kinds of ways.
So when it doesn't come through, I'm just trying for the audience and myself, it's like sometimes I'm aware that something's coming in, and it's coming in so fast I can't compartmentalize it, I can't process it, and I just sit back and go, and it stays there, and at the right time, at the right place, boom. It's like, is that correct? Does that resonate with you?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
It's the same. Okay, if it would be wonderful if you could share some light language, and if you can give us some translation if possible, it would be wonderful. It would be wonderful, Jacqueline.
Okay, so I just invite whoever wants to be here to come. So let me see who wants to be here and come through. And all kinds of different beings come through. So. Ulakali tari tamakori tasana, ushuku ai tari kamaha, ushuku meke I te I, usuku aileki I ina ka a, uluku te iliki ki kakaki amaka, ushuku uku utarieta, ushuku umanaha, ukorieta ia, ushikiki kari ki yata kariyata. Omanadata. So that's a message from actually the Zetas, and they're coming through just offering their blessings to everyone on Earth, not only humanity, but all species, because they care about all species. and they want everyone to know that the most helpful thing during this time is to remember the light within them, the source of who they are.
Oh, that's
so, and let me see who else. Alaka ia tatai akai hatarieta usakekia kakaya kakia katai kakayana tatai usukayake amakikili shuku ati ia kakaki koa utai ikikariata usuu karitaha muakaya ui a amaka I ua kakikike anga kakai ukukakai akakiki omakaliata. So this is from one group. Actually, they're dolphin-like beings out of the Lyran system, and they have been around long before Earth ever was. And so they're sharing that they are here in dolphin-like form, and they are in the oceans. They have actually temples in the oceans that are energetic, that are of 12 different frequencies that are connected to all the constellations. So they are singing their songs, filling the oceans with their frequencies.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Songs, which also expand over the earth to all of humanity and all other species as well. And we could say it's the song of love.
I'm with you. Yeah. I mean,
saying.
It does resonate. I mean, you know, you hear of the dolphins, for example, and everyone will say the dolphins, they've got nothing to do with us. And, you know, how, you know, very sick people or mental health or anything, it doesn't even have to be around the dolphin, the healing that goes on, their frequency when they talk is, if you hear it, you go, ooh, it's, you know, there's something there. However, because we've been programmed not to believe any of this, that was past tense, now we're in present tense, we're in a different timeline. For me, would you agree with these beings that have, you've just spoken their language, their communication, the way they communicate, we speak this language, they've always been here. My knowing is they've always been here. They've never not been here. Everything's always been here, but it's only at a certain time, maybe a veils, or as our frequency heightens or accelerates or oscillates is a word that comes to mind, that we're able to hear and see an innate way that they do. And that is us coming out of the physical more into the spiritual. Just, I'm trying to articulate something that's really hard, but do you resonate with that?
Right, absolutely. And, you know, with speaking light language, our frequency raises.
Yeah. And
so what is happening, the dolphins and they are connecting with the light language that humans are now speaking.
Yeah.
And they are, we could say, our light languages or our languages are coming together.
Yes. Yeah.
And so that it's a beautiful exchange, and that's flowing through the waters as well as the earth. So it's like this exchange, but it's one.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, you know, again, for, you know, I'm a healthy skeptic. For anyone listening in, to me, there's no, you're not skeptic about this, but I'm just saying, there's different languages that humans speak. There's Arabic, there's English, there's, I mean, come on. And at first, when you get introduced to another language, you have no idea what it means. You know, who are these people and blah, blah. But then after a while, after, you know, we start integrating, we either take on their language or they take it, but we have a connection. So for me, even though I haven't spoken to my knowledge in memory, light language, I have no issue with it being there, none at all. There's no difference to another group of beings communicating in their language to me. But I would say in this case, it's more energetic or telepathic, and it's connected to my consciousness, not my ego mind. Does that make sense?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's connected to our spirits.
Yeah, yeah.
Our soul. Our soul knows these languages.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. It's just, you know, I mean, I didn't prepare any questions. It's just happening as we talk. Because so it would be the more we work on ourselves, you know, our belief systems, our identities, get the hell out of the way and realize who we truly are in self-realization, then the filters go down and then the communication can come through. So it can either be verbal, audio, or creative through art or something. Does that resonate with you?
Right. I mean, yes, if we're open to it, we can hear them telepathically.
Yeah.
And that's been a key focus of my work with star beings, animals. It's just really natural for me.
It is. I can see that. I've got to jump in because I want to ask you. You raised, as an animal communicator, would you see them years as your training ground for this, so to speak?
Yeah, actually, yes, because I've been an animal communicator for 40 years.
Yeah.
And it did give me the foundation then to more fully communicate with star beings. I've been doing that my whole life.
Yeah.
But, you know, I had to come to a point and be conscious of that to awaken.
Yeah.
And all the animals are star beings as well. They're all star seeds and they're not from here. And I wrote my whole second book is about that. Yeah. So again, the bigger sense, we're all simply expressions of source, you know, expressing in different ways.
Absolutely.
But we're all one. The soul of an animal is no different from the soul of a human being.
Absolutely.
Or,
absolutely.
You know, another being.
I mean, I don't know if plants and trees have souls, but they definitely communicate. They're conscious energy, their consciousness the same as, and connected to us. And there is a communication. It may be not in language, but it's more, for me, it's more of tones. It's vibration. So I think everything is, you know, I mean, quantum physics 101, it's all energy cannot die, it's all connected. But I think the beauty of what your book's revealing is, for those, I do recommend reading it. It allows the individual being, for once more, to realize I'm not this limited conscious being. I am not, you know, I'm not stupid. There is nothing I can't, you know, it breaks it down. It can help you deconstruct and bring back, which I always call the magic. When we're small children, we have magic, do we not? We have this magic where we become everything. We don't label, we don't have concepts. And I think it awakens, we can call it the child within. And once we trust in that, does that resonate with you, Jacquelin?
Absolutely. And, you know, the child within is the part of us that can do all these things very easily. Or another way of saying it is when we're in our heart. You know, that because that is the inner child. And so, and, you know, the intention of the book too is to support experiencers, hybrids, and for anyone who's just interested in the subject or who's seen a UFO or, you know, so it really is for, you know, for
it's anyone. To get the message out there. I mean, I think hence why all the podcasts are just coming up. They're being birthed everywhere with these discussions. And it's on that, we're coming close to the hour now. I've got to ask, I have to ask the question, you know, being the host, is there an overall message or communication from the star beings or dimensional beings or from your truth, from your journey, for humanity at this time?
Well, it's a message I've been hearing for a very long time and have taught for many, many years, is that to remember that we're all one, that we are all equal. So one of my star families have said to me, we are more evolved, but we are not better than you.
Yeah, yeah.
We are all equal. So that's a really important message. And to keep things simple in life and to live from the heart. These are the key messages that the star beings have shared with me over and over, because they are the key, the key message. You know, we're not going to get anywhere if we don't live from our heart, if we don't realize, you know, that we are all one. I mean, for goodness sakes, I mean, it would be wonderful for humanity to realize we're all the same species. Let's get along. Let's cooperate. Let's give up all the ego stuff with war and greed and power. So that is a part of all the messages that are really relevant right now.
I mean, I am hearing that from my own experiences, but from many others. You know, I want to run something by you, and it was through numerous conversations with contact experiences, and it's still in the back of, you know, like something keeps nagging you, and it's the only way I can articulate is it's like, well, I am them already, whether it's an Arcturian or whatever label you choose to give it, and we said, okay, we're going to go in and we're going to go and have this human experience, but we were not nothing. We were something before we came in. And that is the way it's been coming towards me, because I know I've got the connection. I wouldn't have been visited from the get-go since childhood, and the experiences and the paintings. But it's like, it's family. I felt it's family. And I can't explain that. I can't. Does that resonate? Others are experiencing it too.
Yeah, absolutely. They are family. Like, that's why I call my star parents Amitha and Zazu. They are my star parents, and I have a number of star families because I've been many star beings in other lifetimes, and so other people. So they're all my star families, and which is wonderful. It's like one big family.
Yeah. We just need to get out of the way, the identity. And if you get out of the way, and then you have that realization. I mean, for some it's quicker than others. For some it's a drip, and it's the journey that the soul's chosen to go through. But for me, as I said earlier, and with you, something's occurred with, we call it the awakening, and I'm seeing a couple of timelines. I'm not on that timeline no more. I can't even articulate what I'm talking about, okay? No, I haven't done drugs either. I'm on a timeline where there's no fear, there's no nothing, there's connections with energies, there's beings, and it's as if time is dissipating and it's just now synchronicities. Does that resonate with you?
Yes, absolutely. Time is just accelerating, and the veils are really thinning, and we're all realizing and vibrationally heading toward that oneness. We are one, but
we're awakening to the absolute self-realization of who we are. That's for me, I've always said it's a juxtaposition. I, Gloria, the identity that had beliefs and, you know, was a victim and was all that played the part, got the Oscars for it. But there's the observer behind the being that's in there still observing what's going on. So it's a juxtaposition. So are you saying, say yes, please? Are you saying, oh, please say yes. Are you saying we're coming out of the duality, the polarities we're supposed to experience, and we're going to go into the singularity and experience from there, or how would you articulate that?
Yes, that's exactly. I mean,
Okay.
I guess that's what I was, trying to express, and you said it beautifully. So,
Thank you. Yeah.
yes, that's where we are.
That's where we're going, guys. We're coming up to the hour, but before we close, I mean, I could have gone in detail everywhere. I'll have to bring Jacquelin back, because I think there are millions out there who would love to hear about animal communication. I'm aware of some friends that do it already, and they don't have the greater insight of it yet, but they just know they're doing it. They don't know what's happening. So I think something like Jacquelin's book. So if it doesn't resonate the hybrids, it's fine, but you're going to have the animal communicator as well, which may resonate with you. But before we close, where can anyone get hold of your book, or get in contact with you, or find out more about what services you offer?
My website is www.jacquelinsmith.com, and Jacquelin is JACQUELIN. And you can get my book at Amazon.
Okay, there you go. I thank you so much for the conversation today. As I said, it wasn't long enough. We'll have to do a part 2, 3, 4, 5. The links to Jacquelin's website is on the Facebook page. Go out there, check it out. You've got nothing to lose. You've got nothing to lose by purchasing the book either. And you never know what magic you might find there. And it's always been for me that I think, and then I go, and a light bulb goes off. That's what we're looking at. And something shifts in you, and it gives you curiosity, great joy, and you start living your experience of being human. You start, you're a bit like Alice in Wonderland, the curiosity. Remember, guys, we were told curiosity kills the cat. That was to suppress us. No, be curious, and definitely be curious about who you are. That's the most important thing. Thank you, Jacquelin. Thank you so much indeed for coming on the show today and sharing your life as a hybrid, and we will get her back. Until the next time, everybody, thank you for watching Open Minds, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.
Oh, yeah.